Can I speak honestly about it, Allie?
Yeah.
Permission to
Look,
speak freely.
yeah, thank you. I know a lot of people, and I'm just maybe I'm just built differently, but I've studied those estimates and they never get them right. The analysts never get them right. I've got stacks and stacks of stocks that I've bought in the last 20 years with I buy it and I print a chart and it's got the estimates on there, and I'll go back and look 4 or 5 years later and just curious, and they're not even close. So it's just a guess. It's an educated guess, I guess. These guys and girls on Wall Street, they're not dummies. They're definitely smarter than me, but it's just too difficult to know what a company's going to do, I think. So I don't even look at the estimates, to be honest with you. I didn't even know when you said something about being down. I was looking at what did the company do last quarter. That's all that I can. That's a fact. That's real, and that's pretty much the best information you have. So I just weight that way more than the other things.
Well, I mean, the times that it can work in your favor is on those earnings reactions. So if a company like NVIDIA, not so much this most recent quarter, but the quarter before, I mean, with the blowout guidance that they gave, that the company itself gave, I mean, that definitely those estimates can drive stocks higher.
Well,
or on the downside, if the company is predicting, hey, we're forecasting some sort of slowdown, that might spook investors. So
well,
it's nothing.
That's more fact-based.
Right.
That's a fact, right? If NVIDIA comes out and says, we are going to do X amount of earnings and revenues, that doesn't become an estimate in my mind anymore. That becomes a fact, sort of. The company really is on the hook. They better do that, right? Because there's a lot of risk if they miss badly. So I would love to see, and I probably could pull it somewhere, what NVIDIA looked like on that number in the left corner before the analysts knew what NVIDIA was going to do, right? Mm-hmm. So the 187 increase and the 57% increase, they weren't even close, right? They weren't even close. I think it was -20.
They were probably right. Yeah, those numbers were red.
For 2025, I think it was a big increase in 2024. And then I don't know. I feel like I remember -20 or something. Maybe that's the quarter, that the previous quarter, April 30th, that I'm getting confused with. But I'll find it. I'll pull it and let's see. And so, yeah, I agree with you at that point, because now the company is telling you what they know based on channel checks, blah, blah, blah. Whereas right now, the estimate for 2025 is just Wall Street just extrapolating their Excel spreadsheet. They just build it here and then they just extrapolate it to the right continuously till the end of time.
Anyone who does that for a living, I'm sure, really appreciates that simplification.
Well, if they do that for a living, they're making more money than me doing it because they work at Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs or whatever. And look, I think it's great but I challenge them to prove to me that they can guess what the earnings are going to be. Mm-hmm. That, I guess I'm open to be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I was wrong. I'm wrong every day, all day. I tell my kids, tell my kids, nobody is more wrong every day, all day than me. I make 5 to 10 mistakes a day. So I'm open to being wrong. I'm just telling you what I've observed based on history. That it's nothing against them. I don't want to we'll stop after this, but it's nothing against the people that do that. It's just too difficult to know. Yes. It's just too difficult to know.
Right.
And I can imagine, the amount of variables that that go into that. And,
never mind the company specific variables, but the industry specific variables, the economic variables.
Right.
How about the Fed?
And again, you could easily, the one variable that you get wrong can throw everything off, because you have to make a lot of assumptions, right?
Yeah. How about the Fed? They have 400 PhDs on staff, 400 PhDs. And they couldn't tell you what CPI is going to be in 3 months. They couldn't tell you what housing is going to be like in 9 months.
And they're notorious for overdoing it, on both sides.
It's because things change. Yeah, things change.
Yeah. I mean, kind of in that similar vein too, it's with the analyst upgrades and price targets. right? We're not as concerned about what those are as the reaction to that, right?
Correct. All that matters is I don't say all that matters, but the price is the price. The price is how you get paid. The price is how. So we anchor to the price. It's very important. And there's a great thread on Twitter, an amazing thread about the upgrade that Morgan Stanley did on Tesla. You got to read this thread. It's incredible that it goes through the entire history of Morgan Stanley upgrade and downgrades on Tesla.
Adam Jonas, right? That's
yeah, I think that's
like there's some of analysts you just know
he
who they are.
I don't know, spoiler alert, he never got it right. He was always wrong. So, and that's not me. That's not me being negative on Tesla. So that was the thread by someone, and it was just incredible how, he didn't like it at 10, loved it at 1,000, hated it at 400, loved it at 800, and so on and so forth.